Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my very third live stream. I can't believe I've gotten to the third live stream. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for all your support. It's really good to be here. I get excited and emotional every time I go live. It's like going on live TV. Gosh, the pressure, the stress of that, but I'm loving every single bit of it. Hello to everyone. Hello to Kevin. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Katie, Irina, Corjay, everyone. Thank you all for joining me live here. Let's give people another minute or so, couple of minutes to join. Maria, Rosemary, Jill. Hi, Amanda. Thank you all for joining live. Lucy, hey. JLo, we have JLo here with us. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, as I was saying, let's give people a little bit of time to see if anyone else is gonna join us for the live stream. If not, and I feel like I don't say this enough, all the live streams are going to be recorded as videos and they are still available to watch on YouTube after the live is over. So if you've got friends who you think might want to watch this, or family or anything, share it with them, because this is going to be available for them to watch afterwards. They don't have to tune in. I know a lot of the people who follow me are based in the US, and I know it is quite early there still. It's 3 p.m. or whatever, even earlier than that, depending on whether they're on the East Coast or West Coast. So I realize this is quite early, but it is quite late. I mean, I'm based in London and it's 12 past 8 here. So if people can't join live, it's totally fine. It's okay. They can still watch this later on. We've got R from Pennsylvania. Hello there. Whitby, England. Lovely. I love it when I have people joining from the UK, because I live here. I love it when you guys join from anywhere around the world, especially from the UK, because I live here, and Romania, because that's where I come from, in case you were wondering. Okay, so let's dive straight into it. Today we are going to be talking about tarot and astrology. And I've been meeting, tarot here, tarot everywhere, tarot and astrology. I've been meaning to do a series of these type of videos for a long time, ever since I got into tarot a few years ago. And I started reading and understanding and seeing the correspondences between tarot and astrology. And I think it's fascinating to study and understand both and see how much of that symbolism that exists in astrology and that exists in tarot actually matches up. And the way I look at it is tarot and astrology are both very helpful tools that lead us down the path, a different path, but lead us to pretty much more or less the same result, which is an evolution of our soul. Let's put it this way. So it's no wonder that they have so much in common. So today we're going to be talking about the Major Arcana in tarot and its astrological correspondences. Now, the tarot is composed of the Major and the Minor Arcana, as you probably know. So the tarot consists of 78 cards. I don't know why I'm making assumptions that you know. Maybe you don't know. Okay, so in tarot, there are 78 cards. The Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. Arcana means secret, what is hidden and arcane. And the Major Arcana, so what we're going to be looking into today, and its astrological correspondences, consists of 22 numbered cards. They are actually numbered from 1 to 21, because the very sorry, minor derailment here. I have to say hello to people. I love it. Again, I get this buzz, and I'm very, very happy when I see people joining this live. Okay, so going back to what we're going to be talking about today. We've got here, I don't know if you can see it, the 22 cards that we're going to be going through, starting with the Fool, the card number 0 in the Major Arcana. Now, before I jump into Rider-Waite, this is one of my decks. This one over here is also Rider-Waite. It's been gifted to me by one of my best friends, and I love it, and it's very shiny and golden, and I keep it for special occasions. If you are interested in some really good books, or one good book, if you want to learn tarot, I have one good book recommendation for you. It's this one. It's called Tarot Wisdom, Spiritual Teachings and Deeper Meanings by Rachel Pollack. And this has also been gifted to me by my friend Zoe, and she's live here with me. And I love you for everything, for being my friend and for making the absolute bestest gifts in the world. So yeah, if you want to learn tarot, read this. Mind-blowing. The only book that you need to read. You know me. I like a little bit of history. So before I jump into the astrological correspondences, let me give you a bit of a lowdown of the history of tarot. Now, what I'm going to be taking you through now is from this book, The Tarot Wisdom. And this is what it says about the origin of tarot. Now, I want to clear up the fact that we don't have an exact history of tarot because it's been around for thousands of years, if I'm not mistaken. Card games or card myths or some sort of like game that resembles tarot. But the essence of it is the following. The tarot usually is looked at as a tool that depicts the sacred myths of the Romani gypsies. Some historians say that it's inspired by the annual carnival processions called triumphs or triams that were held in honor of the god Dionysus. We love Dionysus. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. The god of wine and party. I mean, who would not love god Dionysus? It's also said that the tarot hides in plain sight. I love this. The wisdom of the Egyptian god Thoth, the master of all knowledge. You might also know him by the name of Hermes Trismegistus. They also say that it contains the lost knowledge of Atlantis, the secret oral teachings of Moses, and it's also considered to be a vast memory system for the tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life, which is a diagram of the laws of creation. It also, it's said that it also shows Egyptian temple initiations, and they say that it was created by paper maker guilds, who are the last remnants of the Cathars, Christian heretics suppressed by the Church of Rome. Now, the original pictures are said to come from the well-known scenes, mostly religious, found in northern Italy in the late Middle Ages. A lot of the scenes depicted in the classic tarot card decks, such as the Rider-Waite one, the Marseille deck, they make one think about religious scenes. Now, the earliest known deck, which is Visconti Sforza, was painted by Bonifacio Bembo as a wedding gift for a marriage between two noble families. The Viscontis were the rulers of Milan. Very noble origins. The tarot is said to have begun its life as a card game. But obviously, the great myth of tarot and why it's so fascinating, and it's been fascinating humanity for like hundreds, thousands of years, is the concept of a great secret hidden away on a humble card game. Now, there's a lot of correlations and correspondences between tarot and religion and religious texts. According to Kabbalah's most ancient text, the Sefer Yetzirah, I'm sorry if I'm completely mispronouncing that, the so-called Book of Formation, the world was created with 10 numbers and 22 letters. Now, the tarot's Major Arcana, so the 22 cards that we're looking at today, contains 22 cards, and each suit in the Minor Arcana has 10 numbered cards from the ace to the 10th card. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which was founded in 1888, used tarot and the Tree of Life, the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, to raise a person's level of being so that he or she could become a true magician and a great magician. Now, the deck that is probably the most popular in this day and age, and it's the only one I use, by the way. I don't use any other decks. I just love the Rider-Waite deck, and I'm a fixed sign, so I kind of stick with one thing and just go the other. Edward Waite. Pamela was the one who painted a scene on each card so that you could actually enter the picture in the card. You could actually read a story on each card. Before this, it was quite common for the cards to only depict the numbers or the symbols of tarot. Now, before we go into the 22 cards, Hermes Trismegistus. Yes, that's the master of knowledge that I've mentioned. Let's jump into the Major Arcana. So, first and foremost, starting off with the Fool, card 0. Now, the astrological correspondence of the Fool is Uranus. The Fool is associated in tarot with the wise innocent making its way through the world. It's considered, when it appears in a reading, the symbol of instinct, of spontaneity, of free spirit, just like Uranus in astrology, free spirit and rebellion. It's also innocent and joyful. Old interpretations used to consider the Fool an actual sign of madness. Not anymore. Modern interpretations, like I said, consider it more of a free spirit. Now, if it shows up reversed in one of your tarot readings, it might indicate apathy, losing your touch with instincts, and second-guessing yourself. One of my favorite interpretations of the Fool card is embarking on a journey and freeing yourself from a fixed identity and freeing yourself from what society expects from you. Passing through various stages of life, but maintaining your free spirit, and also embarking on a journey without fixed set of plans. See where life takes you. I love it. Now, card number 1. Also, one of my absolute favorite cards. The Fool was Sagittarius. I don't know. I don't think so. I've always associated it with Uranus, but it depends. If you ask other readers, they might say that they might see different correspondences. Uranus is, I would say, the most commonplace association with the Fool, with free spirit. Hi, Sylvia. Now, the Magician, card number 1, corresponds to Mercury, the logical mind, intelligence, the Magus, as it was called by Eliphas Levi and Aleister Crowley. The Magician is the Magus, but also the trickster. Let's not forget that Mercury has a dual meaning. Yes, it's the logical mind and intelligence, but it's also associated with trickery. when the magician shows up in a reading, it's associated with creation itself, a magic act. It shows that you have the power to channel the magic in your life and to channel your creative power and your will in order to transform your reality, because that is what the act of magic refers to. The magician is associated with the active, light, conscious, and rational principle, the masculine principle. If we think of the first, it might indicate that the querent, the person that you're doing the tarot reading for, is trying to avoid making a decision, or they are going through a temporary creative block. It could be a creative block, or it could be a blocking of their will, of their willpower. Number 3, the High Priestess. Definitely one of my favorite cards. It's associated with the moon. It's associated with the subconscious, with intuition, with feelings, with going inside, going inwards, and wiser not to act and initiate things, but rather wait, see what happens, see what your feelings and instincts and emotions tell you, and they should be able to give you the right way to go. Number 3. I realized that I said number 3 for the High Priestess. I'm sorry. It was actually number 2. Number 3 is the one, the only, the Empress. With sensual pleasure, with love, but also with protecting what one has in their life. It's associated with motherhood. So it's not just the sensual principle, it's also the feminine material principle. It's associated with material well-being, let's put it this way. And if it does come up in one of your readings, it means that you're enjoying the lush life and you're enjoying the pleasure that life brings to you. If it's, I'm not going to get into that, but okay, as it is correspondent to pregnancy. Number, also the head, as in the leader. The emperor tells you what to do. If it comes up in one of your readings, it can be associated with like a very strong, very masculine presence in your life. It can also indicate, it can also tell them comfortable in that position. And yes, you have to probably blaze a trail for someone to follow, but you have the experience. Who do we have here? We have the Hierophant, or the Pope, as it used to be, in it, including the cross, including the Hierophant, which looks pretty much like a Pope. The astrological correspondence of this card is Taurus, because Taurus maintains the structures of everyday life. And it tells you to follow the rules, to obey the law, and to get on with the work that you need to do. Also here, an angel watching over the lovers. I absolutely love this scene. The astrological make a decision to make a call. You might have to like weigh your 2 options, or like multiple options that you have. It also indicates those are all very real possibilities with lovers. Who do we have here? We have the Chariot. This is one of my favorite cards. This is associated with Cancer, the astrological sign of Cancer. And when it shows up in a reading, it means that success is achieved by exerting your will in the world and keeping a strong grip on both your emotions and also your actions, controlling your emotions and taking action. A lot of people don't know or don't associate the sign of Cancer with leadership, but actually Cancer is one of the 4 cardinal signs in astrology that indicates leadership and opening a path for others to follow. If the Chariot shows up in one of your readings, it can also mean literally travel or getting a car. If it shows up reversed, it might indicate a lack of willpower or not having such a strong grip over your emotions. Number 8, Leo. Leo is associated with strength. We actually have a Leo in a lion in the card. Oh no, I'm sorry you're having issues with the live stream. It's buffering. I'm really sorry. Why does the Fool not have a number? Because it's number 0. Like in software development, in coding, they use 0 as an actual number and they start counting from 0. And the Fool is considered to be going through the journey of all these other cards from like number 1 to number 21. So the Fool is the one actually traveling and embodying all of these principles that the other cards represent. That's kind of what's happening. So strength, Leo. It means that generally when it appears, it also refers to keeping in check your animal and bestial instincts, keeping in check the beast inside of us, I'd say. Number 9, the Hermit. The Hermit is associated with Virgo. It's the embodiment of the wise old man archetype, going away, retreating, isolating, reflecting, thinking about things, and then coming back into the world wiser. It is usually associated with a period of solitude and retreat from the world. This is my absolute favorite card, guys. The Wheel of Fortune, number 10. Now, for those of you who are new here or who haven't been watching my videos when I was wearing like sleeveless tops, I actually have the Wheel of Fortune tattooed. So, yeah, I absolutely love this card, as you can tell. The Wheel of Fortune is associated in astrology with Jupiter. It also contains here, as you can tell, it's filled with symbolism. It's like overflowing with symbolism. It contains the alchemical signs for salt, water, sulfur, and mercury. It also contains the Hebrew letters that spell the tetragrammaton. So Yod He Vav He. I hope I pronounced that right. Translated as Lord. Kabbalists see the name as a formula of creation. And the books that the creatures hold are associated symbolically with the 4 evangelists from the Bible: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And what you have here on the sides, the creatures on the sides, represent the 4 fixed signs in astrology: Aquarius, Scorpio, which is the eagle, Leo, the lion, obviously, and Taurus, the bull. So absolutely overflowing with symbolism. We've got Justice here. Number 11. Justice is associated with the astrological sign of Libra. And when it shows up in readings, it tends to indicate that justice will be served somehow. So based on what you've done, justice will be served. It can also indicate that you have to make a moral choice ahead of you and really weigh up what is the right thing to do. Number 12, the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is associated with Neptune. It's considered the the outsider. And Neptune is outside of time and space. It's limitless. It knows no boundaries. It's not constricted. It's not restricted. It doesn't live in the 3D dimension. It doesn't care about material restrictions or the material life. So Neptune and the Hangman are associated with taking a step back from the world and living a moment of illumination and initiation that makes you look at things differently when you step back into the world. Okay, who's afraid of this card? Irinuka, you are a Scorpio. Yes. Your sign is on the Wheel of Fortune, indeed. And your sign is also, the sign of Scorpio is associated with number 13, death. Now, a lot of people have a misconception about the death card. It doesn't actually mean real death. I would much more likely associate the Tower in a combination of cards with actual physical death. Death associated with Scorpio in astrology means transformation. Now, yeah, transformation can be quite painful because you have to leave things behind, but transformation brings with it a new chapter. So it also brings with it a resurrection. Number 14, who do we have here? We have Temperance. Temperance is associated with the sign of Sagittarius. The angel seen here, the archangel seen here, is considered to be Michael. Now, in the Lovers card, we saw Raphael. Now, Temperance is the combination. Why is it associated with Sagittarius? Because it's a combination of different approaches, different ideas, different mixtures, as you can see here. Sagittarius is the gatherer of experiences, and it collects experiences and ideas in their travels, in their journeys throughout the world, be them physical or mental. Number 15, yes. Who is afraid of this card? A lot of people are like, oh no, the devil's shown up. I'm actually, if people have a financial question, a question about money, if the devil shows up, it's actually a really good sign because money is coming your way. I mean, money and the devil and the energies associated with the devil tend to go hand in hand. But if you are asking about money and money related matters, it's actually not too bad to see this guy. So in astrology, the devil is associated with Capricorn. Again, I feel like this character is pretty misunderstood due to how it's depicted in the major religions of the world. It can be considered the prince of this world, the prince of the material world, the glory of the morning star, Lucifer. Some tarot readers also consider the devil the inventor of tarot. So yeah, it's holding these guys in chains. But actually, if you look at them real close, you can tell that the chains are super loose. So they can actually take them off if they want to. The devil is also associated with addiction. So addiction seems to have a hold over you, but if you use your willpower, I know I'm oversimplifying addiction, but in theory, if you use your willpower, you could pull yourself out of the chains and that would be it. You could go on with your life. Now, this is actually my least favorite card. It's the Tower, and it pretty much spells disaster. Now, if it shows up in one of your readings, it could indicate that pretty bad negative news might be coming your way. You might hear of bad things, of disasters happening. It doesn't mean that they will happen to you, but you might hear of them. Now, in astrology, the Tower is associated with Mars. Mars is the planet of violence, of accidents. It's very violent and powerful and happens straight away. And yeah, it can feel it like it brings a lot of pain, but the pain doesn't last. So yes, it is sudden, yes, it is violent, but it doesn't last for a really long time. It's a crash, as you can see depicted here in the card. Number 17, the star. The star is associated with Aquarius in astrology, and it's the bringer of hope. As you can see here, the woman who's pouring the water is actually the symbol that you see very, very often Aquarius being depicted as the water bearer. In this case, the water is associated with knowledge and spreading that knowledge. And in knowledge, we find hope. Number 18, we've got the moon, which is associated in astrology with Cancer, with the sign of Cancer. There are actually two cards associated with Cancer, as you've probably noticed, the Chariot and the moon. This card in particular is associated with all things hidden. So what lies underneath the surface, mysteries. It's also associated with cycles, with going through phases in one's life, or embarking on a journey that involves various phases, or going back to the past. So we're thinking of like a very cyclical approach here. Last but not least, it's also associated with a revival of the divine feminine. The only thing is, we don't know what's next. We can't see the light just yet, and we're kind of like howling at the moon. It's like, come on, give us a sign here, someone, anyone. Usually indicates joy, happiness, and getting out of the darkness when it comes up in readings. And it's all. Number 20, the judgment. The judgment day is here. This is actually associated with the planet Pluto. And it's a very karmic card. So judgment will be passed on to you based on your deeds and your thoughts. And it's karma time. Reap what you've sown. Some people don't really like this card, but hey, it's Pluto. It is transformation. It does bring a resurrection with it, because Pluto is also the planet of resurrection. It's not just the planet of death. So it raises the dead. And last but not least, the World, the last card of Major Arcana. This is associated with the planet Saturn. Now, why? So this is actually a very positive card when it shows up in a reading, because it tends to indicate success. It tends to indicate the completion of a chapter in your life, and it's a very happy completion, and you reap the rewards. And some people might say, oh, but isn't Saturn in astrology associated with challenges and obstacles and all of that? With Saturn, because it brings with it a reward. It's also associated with the magus, the magician, reaching the highest degree of initiation. You've reached the highest heights. It's a culmination. And that, my friends, is the Major Arcana. Now, I'm hoping you've enjoyed this. I'm also going to do a part 2 of this tarot series, where we're going to go through the Minor Arcana and its astrological correspondences. And if you are interested in an astrological natal chart reading, or a yearly forecast, or a tarot reading to see what the cards can uncover for you, then please get in touch with me. I've left a link in the description of this video. You can find me on my website and contact me, and I am there. Now, thank you once again for tuning in. Let me know if you liked this or not. Share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of this. And it's been a pleasure, as always. Thank you. Bye.